Hey guys, welcome back to Starcastic Remarks as Chris gives the wide eyes. Anyways, we appreciate y'all being here with us. Alongside Chris, my name is Ryan. We are the official Dallas Stars podcast of THPN. Thank y'all for tuning in this evening. If you click like and subscribe, we'd really appreciate that. Hit that notification bell so that you never miss an episode of Starcastic Remarks. We're getting a week ever so closer to the regular season, Chris. How's everything going for you?
It's going good. It does feel like hockey needs to come back now. I saw like the slightest sniff of some Finnish stars playing basically pond hockey, and I got excited. So I am starved.
Was it weird that you didn't that like Mikko Rantanen was out there? Because I saw that too. Like Heiskanen was out there. I think Teravainen was out there. Granlund was out there as well. I was like, where's Rantanen and all of that?
Mikko makes too much money, and man, he's cruising right now.
Enough to be with those. He makes too much to be with those little peasants and everything.
Yeah.
So, I was surprised not to see him, not to see him out there. But, anyways, I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted by my wife and by our sister Casey. Just on the, you can hear that, right?
She's no.
Trying to make random sounds like monkey sounds like over there. Oh my goodness. I can't keep my thoughts straight. Anyways, let's get into the actual stuff that we're here to talk about today. But thank y'all for joining us, being with us today. We've got a ton of stuff here to talk with you guys about. We got a couple of just not major Stars news, but just like little Stars news that has kind of come out over the last week or so. We'll get into that a little bit. And then we're also going to kind of dig deep into the Olympic rosters as well. And I've got some predictions of who I think is going to make it. And we'll also kind of specifically kind of take a look at the Dallas Stars and see, which of the players can make it onto the Olympic team for the Dallas Stars. And then we'll also, obviously the title of this episode is our favorite stars of all time. Originally, I wanted to do 20, and Chris was like, no, absolutely not. We would be up here for 2 hours.
We don't need 3-hour podcasts in the middle of August.
Dude, it was so stinking hard. I mean, but do you have your list?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really interested to see what it is between your list and my list, because mine is just a little bit more broad, because obviously I've watched a lot more hockey than you have. And I've lived through I'd say 3 different eras of Stars hockey.
Yeah, I think our bottom 5 is going to be very different.
Yes, I think it is going to be very different, and I think. Well, I don't want to ruin it. I'll save it till we get there. But, anyways, let's just start with some minor Dallas Stars news stuff. First off, I just want to get your thoughts on this. Is Fox 4? This is their post that they had about a week ago now. We're lacing up our skates for hockey season. Fox 4 is thrilled to be the official broadcast partner for the Dallas Stars. Get ready to watch 15 regular season games and 2 preseason games on Fox 4 and KDFI 27. Can't get to a TV. All games are going to be streamed on Victory Plus. So there's a lot of different ways to go about this, Chris. Hearing that, or maybe if this is the first time you've heard it, or maybe you saw it earlier, what's your initial thoughts on this? Because I think there can be both negative and positive thoughts coming from this.
Only positive for me. It just makes sense. I mean, you're going to have Victory Plus doing all the games anyway. And for those bars that don't want to specifically get one app to watch the Dallas Stars, now obviously that's been broadening, so it's got other stuff too. So you should be able to have them if they've got a couple sports on there, but still it's easier. Everyone's going to have Fox 4. So it's going to be very easy on those games. Just say, hey, turn on channel 4. Everyone's going to have that. You're going to be able to watch it no matter where you are, no matter what bar, restaurant, anything. So I think the perfect world is that Victory Plus has those 4 states on the regional side. Fox 4 has the DFW area for all games. And I think that would be kind of the perfect combination. You're muted, Ryan.
Sorry, I was about to sneeze and then I didn't. Is there a reason why that they only started with 15 games rather than all 82 or whatever? If that was the idea, then
I think it's just safety from both sides. I think Fox 4 probably has other programs that they'd rather run during a lot of those Stars games. And then the Stars want to have that little bit of extra revenue coming directly from Victory Plus. It probably will be a little bit more for advertising dollars, if I had to guess, at least percentage wise, like per viewer, they probably make a higher percentage or something. So I think it's just safety both ways. But if it works out well, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't go to a full 82 games, and I guess 84 in the next couple of years on the regional network too.
So since you talked about the positive side, I tend to agree with you with a lot of that stuff, but I have seen some negativity, which kind of does make some sense. And some people are kind of starting to be like, already? Is the Victory Plus, algorithm not really working for the Stars? Or are they really not making the money that they thought that they could? And the pushback on that is this. It's only been 1 year. Like, you can't fully understand if this model, the way the Stars are trying to do it, is working unless you have probably at least 2 to 3 years worth of data. I would say at least 3 probably, to like legitimately look at the data and say, okay, this is working or this is absolutely not working. We need to jump ship and we need to do this thing like with Fox 4, like, 100% of the time. That just needs to be the thing we do. So is there some worry there? Because that's what some people are kind of pointing at.
No, that's not what the Fox 4 thing is for at all. It's basically only so that the restaurants and bars can have the game on the TV. That's basically it. The other one is just so you get your casual, just TV scroller might stumble onto a game and get hooked on it as well. That's what it's for. And the other thing is you're going to be able to advertise Victory Plus on those Fox 4 games.
On Fox 4, that right.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to say, hey, you like this? You can watch it for free all the time. Because, like, everybody has internet now. It's not like you can only get it on Fox 4 for these people. Oh, did I cut out a little bit?
Nope. No, you're good. No, I can. Well, we can see you clearly, Chris. At least I can.
Okay. Well, I can hear you too. So I'm just going to keep on talking. But
yeah, keep going.
Something weird happened. I think that was it. I think that's pretty much my point. That's not what the Fox 4 thing is for. It's just for the restaurants and bars. It's not because Victory Plus is having any issues.
Again, I tend to agree with you. And anyways, I don't even think they expected to turn a profit in their first year on Victory Plus either.
I'm pretty sure they did. You see those numbers they were boasting about and all the other, the WHL hopping on board, I think is massive. Especially it was most of the way through the season too. Like, they wouldn't have done that if the Stars thing was failing.
It was cool to watch the playoffs, though. I did watch some WHL games. It was actually a lot of fun because, like, there's way more offense in those games. Yes. It's a lot more fun, and you get to see a lot more individual plays.
Yeah, it's like what Razor says: "Bad hockey is fun hockey."
Yeah,
it truly is.
Yep. And
but I
feel so bad for the goalies there. Like,
have you seen any announcements on if the major junior hockey is going to be full time on Victory Plus this year, like the regular season? I don't know. Oh, I'll have to look that up.
I know that they just did the playoffs for this past year.
I thought the plan was that they were going to do the regular season too, but
maybe
I'll have to.
I would love that. And I'm sure there's some Dallas Stars prospects out there that are in the WHL that we would be able to, keep an eye on. Yeah, there you go. That's one, especially right there.
The Colts.
Yep. And there's not a ton of other stuff going on in terms of Stars news. That was pretty much it. The only other thing that's not really surprising, it's not really news, but we talked about the Thomas Harley and Wyatt Johnston getting invites to the, I don't know what you call it, invitational camp, I guess, or whatever.
Orientation camp.
Orientation camp. Thank you, Chris. Well, Team USA did the same exact thing, and obviously, to nobody's surprise, Robo and Otter both got an invitation to the orientation camp. So I honestly feel like Jay Gottinger is a 100% lock, whether he's the number 1 or the number 2. The only thing that could surprise me is if Jeremy Swayman somehow, miraculously turns it around, which he can. He's been a good goalie. He had a really off year last year. Robo is the one that I'm unsure about. That I don't know, and it really just depends on how rough that injury was to end the playoffs. But at the same time, we talked about it all summer. He was the Stars' best player at the end of the playoffs. So he's had, some time to kind of rehab and recuperate from the injuries that he had this past season. And maybe he's a full 100% ready to go for training camp and the start of the season. And that just leads to him having a really good season for Dallas, which in turn, gets him the actual invitation for the actual Olympic roster. But, what are you surprised about either one of those guys?
Yeah, Robo's going to be 100%. I mean, I think he said in his exit interviews he was pretty much ready to go. I mean, probably some aches and stuff, but it seemed like he was healthy. And I think he's a lock for the Olympic team, honestly, especially when you watch it back and you had especially Brock Nelson on the U.S. team and the Four Nations. I mean, the dude was a pylon out there during those 2 games against Canada. So I think Jason Robertson just taking his spot would be a huge difference.
Well, very different positions too. Excuse me. Brock Nelson plays center, and obviously Robo's left winger.
They had plenty of centers on the U.S. team, so I don't think that's an issue.
And since we're kind of getting into it just a little bit, it's a semi transition to it. But how do you think these rosters are going to be constructed for the Olympics, especially when you look at it from the U.S. and the Canada side, obviously? Because what a lot of people have kind of been meh about is that they tend to go with the veteran guys, right? You don't see a whole lot of young guys on these Olympic teams. For I guess because they're just afraid they're not going to perform in the big moments or whatever like that. Is that the right way to go about it, or do you truly should you just truly just get the best player regardless of if you think they're clutch in the right moment? Because for just to throw somebody out there, Macklin Celebrini, for example, of the San Jose Sharks, he could make the Canadian roster, and he's a good player that could get there. But and I know Canada is extremely deep when it comes to forwards, but still, it's he's probably getting passed over by a whole bunch of other people just because of his age. I mean, is that the right way to put a hockey roster together?
I don't think that's why he's getting passed over. I think it's because there's other Canadians that have similar skill to him that can also play defense much better than him. So it's more the defense holding him back than it is the age. But I do agree. I think that's one of the reasons why Brock Nelson got the call over Robo. I mean, we all know Robo's start of the year last year was bad, but even so, just his history alone could have put him on the roster. And I think it was obvious after watching the series, it should have. I mean, having an extra goal scorer would have been huge when goals were so hard to score during those 2 games against Canada.
Well, and again, for example, Colton Parayko. Colton Parayko it seems almost to be like a lock, yet he's almost never talked about as one of the top defenders in the NHL anymore. I'm not saying he's not a bad defenseman. I think he's a very good defenseman. It's just that is he that quality defenseman that you would expect to see on a quote unquote superstar Olympic team roster for Team Canada? And my answer would be no. There's a ton of other guys that probably deserve to be on that roster above him, but yet he was the one that got onto the roster for Four Nations. So
another interesting thing and a difference between the Olympic tournament and the NHL tournament, I'm pretty sure they're on international ice. So speed could get favored a lot more than it was during the Four Nations thing.
And that is true. Do you think we're going to see a whole lot less physicality just because of the sheer size of the ice? Because I think there's something to be said there.
Yeah. I mean, I think America and Canada is still going to be physical. I mean, the Kachucks will make sure it is, but it'll be a lot
harder. 3 fights on the ice
in
2 minutes.
Well, they won't let them fight in the Olympics, but yeah, there'll be a lot of pushing and shoving for sure.
And then let me ask you about this, but too, because this is a little bit controversial too. Obviously, we know what's going on still overseas in Russia and Ukraine. Uh, Russia and Belarus both are not being allowed to participate in this tournament still, and that's been a thing for several years now. Is that the right call? What do you think?
I mean, I don't want to get too political on it, but yeah, I mean, if you're going to sanction them every other way, then you're still going to
Be consistent.
allow them to play in sports. That seems a little weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it just sucks that there's a lot of good players that I mean, like Ovechkin, for example. Like,
Yeah,
I know that just seems weird to me. And it's
Russian
not his fault
athletes
at
have
all.
had a bad rap in the Olympics recently too, and it's their own fault. So maybe it's not such a bad thing.
Okay, so let's jump ship for a second from the general Olympic hockey talk and talk specifically about Dallas Stars who could be on their Olympic team for their country. Obviously, there's a couple of locks that we need to talk about, and it seems like Team Finland is half the Dallas Stars right now, or former Dallas Stars. I mean, I think Yoel Kiviranta honestly has a shot to be on the team. I think he'd be a good fourth liner. Granlund is a 100% lock. Rope is, Rantanen is, Essa is, Miro is. All of those guys are complete locks. I mean, I don't know if Hakanpää is able to play, but if Hakanpää can play, he almost seems like he would be a good fit to possibly be on that team as well as a former star. And then, for the Team USA, we talked about Robo and Otter. We've got Canada with Harley and Wyatt Johnston. I mean, there still could be something said for maybe Matt Duchene. It's highly unlikely, but something there possibly. And then there's some other players that are kind of flying under the radar a little bit, like one Liam Bichsel. Could Liam Bichsel, wear his home country's jersey when he gets to the Olympics?
That one's different because if there was no backstory, then he for sure is. He would for sure be on the Swiss team. But him and the Swiss international hockey team are not exactly simpatico at the moment, so we'll just have to see what they decide. I think he's still technically like banned by the team, so my guess would be no. But I mean, he's
That
one of
is
the
so
few Swiss
crazy,
defensemen
man.
in the NHL. So
come on, like I get it, and maybe I am a little bit biased because it's Liam Bichsel, but you're telling me you're gonna hamper your chance of getting a medal in the Olympics just because you got butthurt because he didn't come over and play one time? Like, I mean, and this was like several years ago at this point, like 2 or 3 years ago at this point, correct?
it was 2 years ago. Yeah,
Yes.
I think it was a U18s.
Right, like, and there is a huge difference between the U18s and the freaking Olympics. Like, you are really going to shoot yourself in the foot and not have a guy who is absolutely enormous and can skate and is probably one of the best Swiss defensemen in the world just because you were butthurt about that.
He is top 6 for sure.
Yes, like I don't know. I think they rescind their decision or whatever you want to call it, and he's on the Olympic team. That's my personal opinion. I think he's too good to not be on the team because we're talking about him being a top 4 defenseman for this team for the Dallas Stars this upcoming season as a possibility.
And it is something to note just about Liam Bichsel. Sean Shapiro had a really good article on him before the season started last year. And it was like, he's going to do what he thinks is best for him, no matter what. And he proved that whenever he left Texas to go play for the Swedish team. And it turned out to be a good decision. He got to go deep into the playoffs and be a big part of that run. And I think developed a ton. So, and he made the same decision against Switzerland by not going to their tournament for their national team. And it rubbed him the wrong way. And he's not afraid to rub people the wrong way. So in any future contract negotiations that may happen with him, might want to keep that in mind. He's not afraid to get what's his.
All right. So In terms of the other countries that are in this tournament, obviously, I believe France is taking the place of Russia. If I am correct, am I correct in that?
I don't know. I'm trying to look it up, but you
Yeah.
talk too fast.
My bad. But while you're looking that up, there are other teams that will be in this tournament. Obviously, we talked about Canada, but some of the other quote unquote smaller countries that we haven't talked about, like Czechia, for example, they kind of were really excited when they won the World Championships. Either was it last year or the year before? That was a big deal. And David Pasternak, kind of threw some shade at some other people. Obviously, we talked about Finland, Sweden. That's another kind of big powerhouse when it comes to Olympic hockey that could make some damage. And then also Slovakia. Slovakia is not to be trifled with either. I mean, when you look at players like Slavkovsky, you've got Thomas Tatar, you've got lots of other guys here. I mean, it's a decent team considering what you could look at. I mean, Simone Nemec. I mean, that's a guy that he's a young guy that could make the team. I think he's in New Jersey there. And then Germany. Germany is actually starting to become one of those powerhouses when it comes to international hockey. And obviously, Leon Draisaitl kind of headlines Team Germany for all of them, but they've still got other guys there too. I mean, when you look at Tim Stützle, he's like the hot shot in Ottawa for the Senators. JJ Peterka, who just got traded from Buffalo to Utah. Now Utah is going to win the Stanley Cup because everybody that leaves Buffalo eventually wins the Stanley Cup. And then Latvia, and we know kind of what Latvia has done in the past. They had a big win a couple of years ago over Canada, and the goalie, I forget who it was for Latvia, but just stood on his head. And then again, you've still got Denmark as well. So it's not like a lot of these teams are, pushovers or whatever. The only one I would say is probably Italy. Like, no offense to Italy, but
I don't even know who's going to be on their team. Like, I've heard a couple of people are like getting like Italian like citizenship so they could play on it or something, or they're going like way back into the genealogies to figure out who in their family was Italian. But yeah, it could be pretty rough.
Like I kind of I've looked up a couple of like potential rosters, and the only one that I sort of kind of recognize is Alex Patan. That is literally it. And even then, I don't know a ton about Alex Patan, like almost nothing. So
you're right, by the way. It is. So there's going to be 3 groups for the men's tournament. It's Canada, Czech Republic. I thought they were Czechia now. I don't know.
It's the same thing.
Switzerland and France is Group A. Group B is Finland, Sweden, Slovakia, Italy. Group C is United States, Germany, Latvia, Denmark.
So could we possibly see a Canada-US in the final for the gold medal game? That would be so much fun, especially after the 4 Nations tournament. Like,
it
seriously.
Absolutely could happen. I would be sick.
So, I know you don't know a ton about like international hockey or whatever, but are there any of these teams that you think could possibly, be a dark horse to kind of overtake Canada or the United States for a gold medal? I mean, is it Finland? Is it Sweden?
Yeah, I think it's Finland. I think they kind of proved in the 4 Nations that they were better than Sweden, and they did that without some really important players, mainly Miro Heiskanen. I mean, he's the cornerstone of the Stars. He's the cornerstone of the Finnish national team. That's a huge loss, and they lost a couple of other defensemen too, and they still beat Sweden and really like scared Canada. So Finland is definitely the one that can push for it. I don't know that any of these other teams really have that strong of a chance. If you had to make me pick some other ones, it'd be Sweden, Germany.
I would probably honestly put Germany above Sweden at this point. And I know Sweden has a lot of good players. I
wouldn't do that.
I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head. William Nylander, Pedersen, I think, is Swedish. Forsberg, Kempe. All right.
Nils Lundqvist,
yeah, true. There's a possibility there, but very unlikely, I would think. But I just think that Germany is kind of just up and coming, kind of like the Anaheim Ducks in the international hockey scene. Like they're starting to get some really big time players. Leon Draisaitl is arguably the second best player in the NHL at this point. Maybe even the best at points. He's won the Hart Trophy a couple of times, I think, at least once. So that you can't take Germany for granted at this point, at least for me.
I think there's a big gap between Sweden and Germany, honestly.
Fair enough.
I do like Germany best out of the let's call them the bottom feeders.
The bottom feeders. So is it really those four countries? US, Canada, Finland, Sweden, in terms of like that's one tier and then everybody else is on another tier.
Yep, I think there's a middle tier there, but yes.
Yes. Like the middle tier being like Denmark, Germany, maybe Switzerland,
Czech Republic, Slovakia.
Sure. Czech, yeah. And I still don't know if it's Czechia or Czech Republic. I think most people are calling it Czechia now. That's kind of what I've seen, but not like it matters all that much. But I think people actually want to be called Czechia now, rather than just Czech Republic. Okay. Anything else about Olympic hockey? Like, are you excited to see it? Or are you just kind of at this point?
Yeah, I'm hyped. I think people are gonna love it. The time difference is just gonna suck. So I don't exactly know when it would. I'm sure it would be like really early in the morning when those games would happen live. But yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking it up. What's the time difference between Italy and
large
Central Time Zone?
Large. I think if they played a morning game, that would be prime time for us.
Okay, it is 10:03 at the time we're recording this on Wednesday, and it is 5:03 Thursday in Italy.
Yep. So never mind.
It would probably be very early in the morning. So they're 7 hours ahead. 7 hours. Okay. Enough of that. Let's move on. Let's get to the actual topic of this episode here today. Kind of talking about our top 10 favorite Dallas Stars of all time. Things are getting kind of hard. There's not a whole lot of things to talk about, but I thought this would be just kind of fun to do. And please don't come at us and be like, well, you have to have this person in our top 10.
No, okay? Please come at us.
No, don't, because
yes,
there are going to be some very strange names on my list. I think there'll be some fan favorites on my list.
Ryan, I think I'm about to come after you then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then go right ahead. You want to start with 10 and going up, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, I'm doing honorable mention first, and this one's probably going to be on your list. So you're probably going to be angry. Honorable mention, Brenden Morrow. He doesn't crack the top 10, but he's an honorable mention.
Okay. Do you have any more honorable mentions?
No, that's the only one I'm going to give because, I could give a bunch, but my number 10 is going to be Eddie the Eagle, Ed Belfour. He won the cup, but it's hard to call him a Dallas Star, with how many different teams he played for in his career. He won the cup here. He's still the best goalie in franchise history, but he's not a Dallas Stars goalie per se. And that's the only reason he's not retired in the Dallas Stars too. There's number, but he's for sure a Dallas Stars Hall of Famer, and he's for sure one of the top 10 Dallas Stars ever.
This is exactly why they have the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame, right? For guys exactly like him, because to this point, this is the franchise's only Stanley Cup. We're hoping the one gets won here shortly in the next year or so, especially with the core of the Stars have. But yeah, everything you said is exactly right. Would you believe that he is actually not in my top 10?
Oh, wow.
He is not in my top 10. And I think that's one of the reasons why is the way that you said it is just like, I kind of went about it a different way.
True Dallas Stars.
Yeah, that's kind of how I did it a little bit. Number 10 is Radek Faksa. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
No,
I would lose my mind.
My honorable mention, because I had one as well, because I had to mention him, Jiri Lehtinen. Like
what?
I know. But Jiri Lehtinen, he's kind of like Esa Lindell in a way. Like he did so many things for so long, and he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Yes, he won a couple of Selkies as a member of the Dallas Stars, but
Oh yeah, he just won a couple Selkies, no big deal.
But like I don't know. It was hard to put him above some of these other guys, and you'll see why with where I'm going.
Boy.
So my number 10 is Sergei Zubov, and I know,
What are you
I know.
doing?
You're gonna.
You
I
just
don't think this is not
Hold on.
supposed to be an argument here, Chris. These are my
Okay.
favorite players.
I'm not
okay?
arguing. I'm just putting it out there. These are like both of those players have their jerseys retired. They are in the rafters, and they are your 10 and 11.
Yes, I understand that, but I went a different way with some of mine. I think I obviously some of in my top 5 will be the same. Okay,
Our
but
top 5 is not going to be the same now.
okay, maybe not. It's okay, but he is my number 10. Honestly, and it was really interesting to hear Craig Ludwig talk about it on DLLS a lot. Is he talks about all the trades that they made right before they won the Stanley Cup? Like, wait, if we hadn't traded Aginla for Joe Nieuwendyk, I don't think we would have won the Cup. And he said the same thing about when the Stars traded Kevin Hatcher to the Pittsburgh Penguins and got Sergei Zubov coming the other direction. Like, that is one thing.
Bigger, honestly, than the
I agree 100%. Because honestly, he was here for longer than Joe was. And he's one of the best defensemen in franchise history when it comes in terms of defensemen. So he's my number 10. I loved watching him carry the puck on the power play when
I would call him the best defenseman. But anyway,
I just realized he's the only. Oh wait, no, that's a lie. I have one other defenseman on my list. Okay, who's your number 9?
Number 9, I've got it in different eras here. So my number 9 is Tyler Seguin. And I mean, I think that speaks for itself. He's played every year but one in Dallas. Grew so much as a player and as a leader on this team. The only thing he's missing is a cup. When he gets a cup, he's going to jump up this list.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer in terms of like the NHL Hall of Fame, but he's a lock for Dallas Stars Hall of Fame.
He is
sure,
a lock
right?
for Dallas Stars Hall of Fame.
Maybe even having his jersey retired.
If he gets a cup, he could.
What if he doesn't?
If he doesn't, I don't think so.
See, like that's how I think him and Jamie Benn are different. Like Jamie Benn, there's no doubt in anybody's mind, regardless of if he wins a cup or not, that his number is going to be retired when he's done. Like Seguin, it's just because he wasn't like an OG Dallas Star. He wasn't drafted by the team, even though he came here when he was like 22 or whatever.
And he just wasn't a captain. I mean, the Dallas Stars have had such a legacy of strong captains that Jamie being that guy for so long. I mean, he's the longest tenured Dallas Stars captain ever in a franchise with great captains. So that in and of itself is a huge thing.
All right. My list is a lot different than yours in some ways because I have players who clearly. My number 8 is Antoine Roussel. My number 9 is Antoine Roussel. Watching him play was so much fun all of the time. It didn't matter if he was doing some sarcastic thing on the ice or just his hustle on the ice there was a reason why he was a fan favorite for so long. And I think one of the other things about him too is that he's one of the few French players that ever have made it to the NHL as a regular. I think that's also cool. I think that's another reason why I have him on my list as one of my favorite players. Like he was just so much fun to watch, and he's just one of those guys that he just comes in and pesters everybody to death. That's just his job. And
okay, I want to clarify your list. This is your top 10 favorite Dallas Stars players, not the best Dallas Stars players of all time.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Then yes, our lists are very different because mine are the top 10 Stars players of all time. Period.
Okay. All right. See, I thought we were doing favorites. So your favorites
texted me best of all time. So
I did?
I'm still going to blame you. Yeah, you should go back and read it. But anyway,
I'll do that now.
My number 8 from another era, who would also if this guy had won a cup, I mean, he would without a doubt be the best Stars goalie. He might still be. Like if you're talking about a Dallas Star, it's Marty Turco. I mean, that guy was awesome. You talk about a player that's fun to watch. Marty Turco, one of the most entertaining goalies ever. One of the last like true small goalies to be great in the NHL. And man, if he just had a little bit better hockey team, he could have won the cup by himself and won the Conn Smythe. I mean, that what was it? That series where he had 3 shutouts and the Stars lost the series.
Was it against Vancouver? When Vancouver was one of the top teams in the NHL.
That's insanity. That was the year that Vancouver went on to lose it to Boston, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but if that was the case, that was 2011.
I think it was. So yeah, just he was an amazing goalie. He deserves so much better as far as postseason success goes. And yeah, he was, I mean, Stars goalie for forever. He was awesome.
I want to give one quick shout out to Ryan with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Ryan. Long time no super chat. How's it going, boys? Glad to catch it live. I came in at Fox a Talk. Heck yeah. Chris just shakes his head.
I am so upset we got Foxy back.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm fuming.
Okay. Well, since our lists are completely different, and I guess I texted you the wrong thing, I am sorry. These are my favorite Dallas Stars.
You went back and looked, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And you were correct. So my list would be a lot different if it was the top 10 Dallas Stars of all time. Okay, so I'll just go on and say that. But we're just going to keep going with this because it's fun anyways.
I can at least stop attacking you now.
Yes, now you can stop attacking me. I was just like, why are you attacking me? This is supposed to be like a fun thing, like favorites. Okay. My number 8 is Steve Ott. And for a lot of the same reasons for Antoine Roussel, but more so. Like, he dialed it up to like 11, it seemed like, in certain situations. And especially when he knew he was getting under another team's skin and he knew he had already pushed that button, he would just keep doing it in the game to the point where, like, I remember there were several times I was like, okay, Steve, stop. Otter, stop. And he was the OG Otter. Like, dude, stop. We were like, I remember getting annoyed sometimes watching him, pester other teams. I think there was one game in particular. I think it was against the LA Kings. It was just a random Wednesday night. And I came home and I was watching the game and he had I think it was like 35 penalty minutes or something like that. He had like 2 fights, a game misconduct, like 2 or 3 like minor penalties and, just dumb stuff. But again, that's one of the things that kind of endeared him to me. Like, he was such a hard worker. And I think it also goes to show like his character as well, because I mean, look at him now. I mean, he was low key one of the underdogs for taking the Stars head coaching gig. I mean, there were people that were talking about him, whether he had actual, chances of getting it. I don't know that for sure, but still the fact that his name was out there was interesting, and it says a lot about him. So he's my 8th favorite Dallas Star of all time.
And those October ticket deals, they were pretty fire. $8 tickets, I think.
Yep, that is true.
Those were the days, boys. Well, actually, no, it wasn't, because they were terrible.
But yeah, they were terrible back in the day. They had a good couple of years, which was, I think, 15, 16. Although I don't remember if Otter was on that team or not. But that was about the only good year back then.
All right, my number 7 for best Dallas Stars of all time is Derian Hatcher, first American captain to hoist the Stanley Cup. Just a true leader through and through. The exact right player you needed in that just lockdown defensive puck era. I mean, that's the exact defenseman you needed during that kind of hockey. And he was perfect. That's exactly what you needed. And he was a great leader for the Stars, even though he wasn't their best player. So super cool. That's a classic hockey captain, is Derian Hatcher. And there is a strong argument that he should be in the rafters next to those other 3 names that won the cup. But yeah, I mean, it's so close. That's why he was the first into the Dallas Stars Hockey Hall of Fame, I think. So
other than the ones who had their numbers retired, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, would you call him an enforcer? Was he just like a fantastic defensively minded defenseman who was also just a nasty enforcer as well.
Right.
I think that's a good way to describe him.
When you think of the enforcers back then, though, you're thinking like literal goons, like bad hockey players that just go out and defend their superstars. He wasn't that. He was a good defender as well as the guy who could stand up for your superstars. So I wouldn't call him an enforcer because that lumps him in with the wrong people. He was a solid defender as well.
Fair enough. That's a good point. I will still remember forget when it was, exactly what year, but when he broke Jeremy Roenick's jaw.
Yep.
Like that hit. Oh my God.
That's terrifying.
Yes. Like that is why I'm kind of glad I'm not a professional hockey player or just a professional athlete in general. Like going against guys that large and having how big was Derian Hatcher? Was he 6'5"?
I don't know. He was big.
He was huge. Like I would not want to see a freight truck of Derian Hatcher coming at me.
A freight truck. You nailed that one.
Yes.
That's true, actually.
So I will just go ahead and say it. He actually is my number 6 on my list of favorite Dallas Stars. So since we're kind of talking about him, I don't want to, re-talk about him again. But I'll go ahead and say my number 7 favorite Dallas Star of all time. And I know this might be a little bit controversial just because he wasn't here for all of that long, but it's just his passion for the game and how he celebrated when he scored. It fantastic. And he has one of the greatest moments in Dallas Stars history and franchise history as well, in my opinion. Do you know who I'm talking about, Chris?
Alexander Radulov.
That would be correct. Every time he scored a goal, it was like he scored his first goal again. Like it was, I have to this day never seen anybody as excited as he was every time he scored, whether it was in the regular season, in the playoffs, or obviously the game I'm talking about is the pop heard around the world is what I call it, when he scored the go-ahead goal in the Winter Classic to put the Stars up. Like that, like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that and watching his celebration on the ice and how the team kind of went about that and how they celebrated. That's why that he is absolutely one of my favorite players. Just like you don't see a lot of guys with that much passion. He was never like the best like Dallas Star on the ice, like over, the entire year. But man, you could not doubt his passion for the game of hockey. So that's why he's one of my favorite players.
Y'all go back and watch the highlights from that Winter Classic too. That was awesome. I watched that probably like every other month just because it was so cool.
Yeah, I do that as well. And don't they have the game on Victory Plus?
They might. I know for sure they got the highlights on YouTube.
Yeah, I definitely do that. Okay, Chris, keep going. I think it's your number 6.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give my 6 and 5. And it's kind of fitting because I kept flipping them back and forth. But at number 6, I've got Brett Hull, Stanley Cup winning goal, obviously. And then number 5, I got Joe Nieuwendyk.
That is hard.
Playoff MVP. The only reason they're lower is because they weren't on the Stars for as long as these other guys. You wouldn't call them Dallas Stars through and through. I mean, they were because they won the cup here, and they always will be. But that's just why they're not up at the tippity top because they don't bleed green. I wouldn't say.
They just, I don't know what the word they sort of kind of flow green. I don't know. There's not a good analogy.
They got green in there.
Yeah, they got green in there. It's just not, just green, not just Victory Green in it. That's a good point. I still remember when Brett Hull, I think it was his 600th, and I think it was at a Reunion Arena, and I think he scored a hat trick.
The whole AM.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was the first, second, or third goal that got him to 600, but I still remember watching that game as a little kid and just being in complete awe of that particular milestone in his career. So he would be on my list for sure if I had texted you the correct list, if I had paid attention to my own thing. So yes. I guess I told you my number 6, Derian Hatcher, so I'll give you my number 5 real quick, and it's got to be Marty Turco. Like And it's a little bit different, and that's why Ed Belfour is not on my list, because Ed Belfour was when I was really little, when I don't remember as much as I do, obviously, watching Marty Turco play for the better half of almost a decade, I think, or if not longer. I forget how long it was exactly, but like this is a guy that probably should have won a Stanley Cup at some point as a member
Absolutely
of a
should
Dallas
have.
Star. And that's the same thing that I worry about for guys like Jamie Benn, for example. And
Yep.
and now I've had to watch Marty Turco go through this. I had to watch Joe Pavelski go through this and not get the Stanley Cup that he probably deserved. And now I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to see a Stanley Cup for Jamie Benn either. And again, like you mentioned, the play, everyone talks about that particular series all the time. And he literally shut out the Vancouver Canucks with the Sedin twins and Marcus Naslund and other players that they had. Maybe it wasn't Marcus Naslund, but it was at least the twins for sure. And it was
Like, how
amazing
is
what he
that not
did.
enough?
Yes, like what more could he possibly do? Like
You could have had a fourth shutout.
I guess, but it kind of made me think about like J.S. Jaguar back in the day when he was with the Anaheim Ducks. I think it was the 2003 Stanley Cup final, and he was just standing on his head, and there was no doubt that his team was not the better team, but everybody knew he was going to win the Conn Smythe at the end of it in a losing fashion. It didn't matter. It was his. It was his. He was the best player in the playoffs for them. Turco was the same way. It was just hard to watch that series and be like, dang it, like come on.
Yeah, I think that Morrow, Turco, Ribeiro team, I don't think it was technically good enough to be. I mean, they weren't cup contenders, I don't think, in any of those years. But when Turco was on the way he was, he could have stolen a cup. He totally could have.
I'm not saying I would put him in the same category as Carey Price, but he is definitely only one tier below Carey Price, in my opinion, and in that aspect. So that again, that's one of my biggest regrets, I guess, even though
What
it's
ifs?
not. Yeah, it's not really a regret because I wasn't really involved in the whole situation. But like,
No, you weren't.
I mean, I wasn't like directly involved with the team or anything
I
like
thought
that.
you were
I
right.
didn't have any control over it, but like, I hate not having a Stanley Cup from Marty Turco. So,
all right, my
yep.
number 4, and this one again, he'll jump up to 2 as soon as he wins a cup. It's Jamie Benn. I mean, he's
Got him
second
at
in every
4?
stat. He's at 4.
Really? Okay.
He's second in every stat. He's the longest serving captain. He bleeds more green right now. I mean, he's probably going to bleed more green than Mike Modano. Mike Modano played for the Wings in the end of his career. I highly doubt that happens to Jamie Benn. That would be so sad. But he needs a cup. He needs to finish it, and that's the last thing. If he gets the cup, there might be not just his number retired. He might get a statue.
I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but I'll go ahead and tell you, Jamie Benn is my number 2. Like, and I was gonna actually ask you the question on this, Chris, is like, for people like me, obviously Mike Modano is obviously going to be the biggest name in terms of Dallas Stars history. But there's a whole new generation of Stars fans that are coming up that they know who Mike Modano is, but Jamie Benn is the guy. Jamie Benn is the Dallas Stars.
Yep.
Like more so than Mike Modano ever was for some of these younger fans. So that makes me wonder if like eventually Jamie Benn kind of overtakes in terms of legacy of Mike Modano. But the only way I think he does it and solidifies it is if he wins the Stanley Cup.
Yep, that's 100% true. They've used the Stars have used the immortality thing for a long time, and the only thing that truly immortalizes you in fandom lore is a championship, and that's why Mike Modano is the highest there is of any Dallas Star. He was the best player one of the best players in the world, the best American, and he won the Stanley Cup. That's what it takes.
My number 4, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but you talked about him, so that's why I did. My number 4 is Brenden Morrow. They're just, again, that was a time in my life when I was growing up especially in high school, and that's when the Stars made some really good runs. Like my freshman year, that run in 08 when he just absolutely laid out, and I will remember this guy's name for the rest of my life because of the hit. And the hit on Milan Mahalik of the San Jose Sharks. Like it was right before the end of regulation, and everyone was going to be going to OT, and Morrow just completely flat out lays him out. Probably the biggest hit, and it wasn't even a dirty hit. But it was the nastiest hit I've ever watched or gotten the chance to experience. And then obviously the goal that everybody talks about that he scored in, what was it, like quintuple overtime or whatever it was. I think it was like 4 or 5 OTs. And
I don't think it was that, but
do what?
I think it was double.
Really? It was just double? I thought it was more than that.
I think so.
Regardless.
I mean, we can exaggerate. It makes it more fun. It was 7 overtimes, actually, I think.
But like seriously, like it was a incredible decision by the organization to take the captaincy away from Mike Modano and give it to Brenden Morrow. And there was a lot of people who were surprised when that decision was made. But looking back on it now, after both are retired for quite a while now, Brenden Morrow absolutely deserved that. And again, for the longest time, he was the Dallas Star. Like he was the Jamie Benn of the day, and maybe even to a bigger extent. So,
but I think the act of taking the C away from Mike Modano is the wrong decision, but the act of giving it to Morrow is absolutely the right decision. But obviously, the second wouldn't have happened without the first, so it's kind of a weird conundrum. But you're dead on there. I mean, that's another guy. I mean, similar to Darian Hatcher, it's like. He may not be the best guy on the team, but he is most obviously the leader of the team.
Well, he was putting up points especially when there were years when the Stars absolutely sucked. It was him and Ribeiro. About it. Like that's nobody else was putting
really
up points.
Bad.
Yeah, and remember when Stefan Robidas was our number 1 defenseman? Or Alex Goligoski was our number 1 defenseman for the longest time?
Don't trash on Alex Goligoski. My man holding down the fort.
I was expecting you to say Robidas, not Goligoski. I loved Robidas, but he did not need to be a number 1 guy. Anyways, it's your turn. What you got?
I got number 3. I thought the top 3 was obvious, but yours is favorite Stars, not the best. So my top 3 are the retired Cup winners. So at number 3, I did put Jere Lehtinen. Selke winner, obviously, defensive guy, the Robin to Mike Modano's Batman. I mean, he was the perfect guy for Mike Modano. The greats always need to have their guy with them, and Jere Lehtinen was it for Mike Modano. And the fact that he got his number up there right next to Mike's is the absolute correct thing to do. So love that. He's number 3.
And I've only got 2 left because I already told you my number 2 is Jamie Benn. So I'll give you my number 3. And it might actually surprise you a little bit, but I think there is so much promise with this guy. And that's Wyatt Johnston. He is my favorite current Dallas Stars player. And that's saying a lot. Well, actually, he's not my favorite. I guess what I'm talking about is like of the new era is what I'm talking about, because Jamie Benn's era is just about over in the twilight. But like there is so much promise around this guy. He comes out of nowhere. He's able to play so well defensively and offensively around the puck. There are talks about him being the new Mr. Game 7. And taking that mantra away from Justin Williams. We haven't seen another Mr. Game 7 since Justin Williams. And Wyatt Johnston has scored some absolutely enormous goals for this franchise. he's only played for 3 years.
Yep.
Like,
I think he's only played in 3 Game 7s.
yeah, exactly. And
I think he has
the
2
other thing,
game winners.
yeah, and the other thing about this too, and I'm telling you, it's something that you can't really experience unless you actually get the chance to talk to him or ask him a question. But just the way that he holds himself, the way that he talks to people, he does it with such an amazing sense of character, and he treats everybody so well. This guy has got to be the next captain of the Dallas Stars. And just like I'm talking about how, there's this new era of Dallas Stars fans look at Jamie Benn as the Dallas Star over Mike Modano, even though they know what Mike Modano did. I could see something similar happening with Wyatt Johnson when Wyatt Johnson is, 36, 37. And everyone could be looking at Wyatt Johnson and saying, this is the ultimate Dallas Star. Like I could see something like that happening with him. So, and then again, he's still growing. He's what, 22, 23? Like the sky's the limit for this kid right now. And I'm just so excited to see the chances that he has moving forward. And if he can win a cup early on in his career and solidify that even further, then I think that even bolsts him up the ranking in terms of greatest Dallas Stars of all time, especially if he's able to keep the stats the way that they are right now. So
start the Dallas dynasty.
Yes, exactly. So he's number 3, only below Jamie Benn.
Yep. My number 2 is Sergei Zubov, best defenseman the Stars have ever had. I mean, the story of that Lutz tells all the time of him letting a pass that Zubov made go between his legs. I mean, the coach asked why he let it go, and it's like, it wasn't on my tape, so he wasn't passing it to me. I mean, that's just wild. I love that so much. And I mean, yeah, he's crazy. So Zubov, number 2. That'd be a cool guy to see coach the Stars in the future, is Sergei Zubov.
I love how Paul Coffey came out for the Edmonton Oilers and worked a lot with their defensemen. That would be so cool to see Sergei Zubov do the same thing. I'm not saying it's likely because I don't even think Zuby wants to do stuff like that. I have no idea.
I think friend of the show. Oh man, his name is just slipping my mind right now. The Stars play-by-play announcer,
Ralph Strangis.
Thank you. My goodness, I am sorry, Ralph. I think he said he talked to Zubov in his Substack. He said he talked to Zubov and that he would very much be interested in it, but he never got a call apparently. So,
yeah. Well, I have a feeling we both have the same number 1, and it's actually a completely different list because of me screwing it up. But
yeah,
we both have.
It doesn't matter. He should be the number 1 on every Dallas Stars list, no matter what the criteria is. It's Mike Modano. He's the greatest Dallas Star of all time. Even if Jamie Benn wins 2 cups, I think Mike Modano is still the best Dallas Star ever.
Well, and what he has going for him over Jamie Benn is a lot is the legacy thing, right? Like when the Stars moved down to Texas, he was maybe not the original reason why people came and watched hockey in the first place, because I think for a long time people came to watch players like Shane Churla and stuff like that. But he is absolutely like the greatest Dallas Star player of all time, and he is my number 1 for obvious reasons. And I understand the whole thing with him right now and him working with the Minnesota Wild organization. And like there have been some, I don't know what you want to call them, like disagreements between him and the Stars organization now or whatever. And some people are upset at Mike Modano for that. But I mean, does that really trump everything that he did for the Dallas Stars while he was here?
It doesn't matter at all. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to live in Minnesota and be around his family, like, I don't care. Go work for the Wild.
But I mean, he could completely trash the Dallas Stars organization, and he would still be my favorite player of all time, just because of what he did.
I really think being upset that he is working for the Minnesota Wild, and I think he's pretty much like in an advisory role. I mean, that's just
I have no idea. But there were some other stuff, if I understand correctly. But even then, it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, Mike Modano made hockey in Texas.
yes,
he solidified it. He's the reason why it is such a big deal and why there has not been whispers of the team moving since bankruptcy. Even during bankruptcy, like that would have been the perfect time for this team to pack up and go move to Winnipeg, and they didn't. And I think Mike Modano and what he did for the hockey team and its legacy is a big reason why.
And that's why I think in terms of greatest Dallas Stars players of all time, I don't think anyone ever eclipses him because no one can ever do that again. Like,
right.
Like he did it. Like it cannot be replicated. The only thing that I could see that might make it bigger is if somehow they make hockey the number one sport down here in Texas. But there's no way that happens. At least in my lifetime, I don't believe that ever happens. And I don't even think I don't think ever. I think football is always going to be king down here. That is the only thing that I think could possibly trump. And even then, I'm not necessarily sure that would trump what Mike Modano did down here. Like he made hockey, and you could even say it this way. He's the reason why this podcast exists. I mean, like I don't think I would have ever gotten into hockey as much as I did if it weren't for Mike Modano. So people can be upset at him for, what he's done recently within the last, 5 to 10 years.
I don't think very many people are actually upset.
But I know, I agree with you. But there is that vocal minority that do make themselves know that Mike Modano is an idiot and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I don't care.
You're an idiot.
He is my favorite player of all time, and he is the greatest Dallas Star of all time, and there's no doubt about that. So,
agreed.
Okay, we've hit that hour mark, Chris. So I think it's just about time for us to wrap it up. Anything else you got going on for the next week or so?
Nope, just waiting on hockey. I'm gonna go into a cryogenic chamber and just shut down for a little while.
It is currently less than a month before training camp opens up. Less than a month now, and it can't get here fast enough, at least for me. I have, like I told everybody, I've inserted myself in actually playing hockey. That's how much I've missed it. So we'll have to wait and see how the Dallas Stars do coming up. And I'm so excited to get this next season going. I really am. Every year it's like opening Christmas presents on Christmas morning when the hockey season starts. But thank all of you for who have been listening and or watching us live. Once again, please consider clicking like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of Starcastic Remarks. We go live every Wednesday night at 9:30 during the off season, and it gets a little bit more involved as the regular season starts. We're really excited to get things going. And if you're listening on the audio side, leave us a 5-star review wherever that may be on your favorite podcast platform of choice. And as always, alongside Chris, my name's Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you all have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening. Whenever you guys are listening, go Stars.